Welcome to Rennes-les-Bains. This beautiful place here is actually called the Source of the Dragon, and I've never been here before, although I've been to Rennes-les-Bains several times, just as a day trip really, rather than to stay here. And a local showed me this beautiful space, and so far I've been here on my own. I wasn't intending to create a video here. I'm actually here on my own personal pilgrimage. This is a little bit of time I've given myself between retreats after having finished the Priestess of the Sacred Waters in Sardinia. And in a few days I'm starting the Mary and the Dragon, the Pyrenean Odyssey, which I'm very excited about. And probably on the last day of that particular pilgrimage, we will come here on our way back to Carcassonne, because I want to share this, especially because it's called the Source of the Dragon, and that is in the title of the pilgrimage. So this is my time. However, I was just sitting here meditating, watching the waterfall, and I really felt to share it with you. It is so sacred, and even though I'm not actually sure what I wish to share with you, I have a lot going on. But there's a lot of processing and integrating happening within me at the moment, and I'm not sure it's all ready to be shared. However, just to share this with you, I thought was pretty special. So Rennes-les-Bains is in the Languedoc part of France. It took me about just a bit under an hour to drive from Carcassonne, and it's quite near Rennes-le-Château, which is its more famous counterpart. But as if you speak any French, as you'll probably work out from the Rennes-les-Bains, this is all about the baths. It's the most amazing river going through here, and there are thermal springs, natural springs that you can sit at in the river, which I've been doing in my couple of days here so far. I've been in each day, and I'm feeling very cleansed by the incredible sacred waters in this area. So nearby, a couple of minutes of walk away, there is also a pond of the fairies, which I've also been sitting at, and it is a very elemental energy. So incredibly sacred. I'm not sure how well you'll be able to hear me over the waterfall, but if that's the case, just tune out to my voice and just listen to the waterfall and allow the magical healing qualities of falling water to cleanse your energy body. I was just thinking about this time of change for everyone, and myself included. And I would say that I'm very aligned with my path. I'm very aligned with the rose line and walking my rose line. And it's the foundation of my work. And over the last year, but especially the last month, I've really been moving into a deeper connection with the waters and with the Merline. And this is the last 2 days since I arrived in Rennes-les-Bains, after having done the pilgrimage through Sardinia with the sacred waters. Suddenly this is speaking to me really loudly, the Merline and the Mary, which is a group of beings that I channel, speaking very strongly to me right now, pulling me into the waters. And on reflection of my journey so far, I've been in Europe for a month, and I've been recording meditations. If you're part of that series, you will have received them. They're actually much more about the waters this time than about the rose line. Now, they're entwined, but for some reason, it's the waters that are really speaking to me and through me at the moment. And yesterday, I had an incredibly powerful download around this and around where the rose petals are leading me in terms of my work. And not that it's a change, but it's bringing more of me into what I share with you. And what was fascinating about that is I received a word that was actually the name of my business 19 years ago, when I first came here and planned my first retreat here, which happened the following year in 2008 in this area. And the name of my business then was Lameria, Lamerea. And that dropped into me yesterday while I was meditating, which made me go into my computer to search. I was actually looking for the logo of that business, which I couldn't find, but I found all of these writings that I had done at that time under the title of a book I was calling Lemuria. And as I was reading those writings, they were activating me. You know, I was 40 then, and I was speaking a lot to the Mary energy and the water energy and tying it in with the rose line. And I was reading this stuff going, oh my God, how wise was I? And it was really activating. And I thought, how beautiful is that? I was sharing it with the ladies I have a group in my membership called The Mary, and I was sharing that with them on a call this morning, and it was saying it was like I wrote a letter to my future self, my 59-year-old self. However, I'm ready for the activation now, probably more than I was then. I'm more embodied in who I am now than I was then. I was very off with the fairies at that point. I was very upper chakra, whereas now I'm much more embodied. But it's so beautiful to be activated by myself from 19 years ago. And we had a beautiful conversation on our call about how, you know, not to diss who you were, because you've probably left signs for yourself, for your future self on that path, which is a beautiful thought. We might think about that with other lifetimes, but the fact that even in your own lifetime you do that. So I'm undergoing a little bit of a metamorphosis, like all the dragonflies buzzing around here. And I'm not sure what that's going to look like yet, or even if it'll even change me outwardly, but I feel that there is a shift going on. And so this is partly what I wanted to talk about is the fact that, you know, you might think sometimes you're on the path, like that's how it's going to look now, this is it. And then at times like these, energies come in and things change, and suddenly the blinkers are taken off and you see a bigger picture and you're like, oh my God, there's more to me than I thought. But then sometimes you hang on so tightly to the path you are on because it was working well, you loved it, and we can also stop our own evolution through that. And so this is what I'm sitting with at the moment, is what this awareness is changing in me, if anything, is changing what I talk about, if anything. But it's just a beautiful space to sit in, and being here in these energies of Rennes-les-Bains is really supporting that process. There was something I did want to talk about, and I'll probably call this video this particular topic. When I was going through that information that I had written 19 years ago, or they were channeled messages really, I came across a statement I wrote, and it said, it was something, I meant to look up exactly what it is, but it was something along the line of be the divine feminine, not the divided feminine. Powerful. I feel like there might be something I offer around that moving forward, but this made me realize that a part of my upcoming pilgrimage, the Mary and the Dragon, and also my one in Glastonbury in July for Magdalene's feast day, both of those, or one's a pilgrimage, one's a retreat, but both of those are around embodying the triple goddess. And this is what I call the New Earth triple goddess, the black goddess, or the dark goddess, the light goddess, and then that brings you into the rose goddess. And so when I wrote that particular phrase 19 years ago, I was actually referring to the dark and the light goddess. And many of us are the divided feminine. We are divided in our aspect of the dark goddess and our aspect of the light goddess, because all we've been encouraged to be is the light goddess. You know, if you've been in any religion, or especially a Christian religion, you know, the role model is the Virgin Mary, not Mary in her wholeness, not Mary as the dark Madonna and the sort of white virginal Madonna, but just the Virgin, or even not white virginal, but the mother. But no, just the Virgin, just this pure, untouched, too good for you type energy. And so for many of us, that's what we have strived to embody. And that's only half the story. And that's when you're in that place, that's when you are the divided goddess, or the divided feminine, not the divine feminine. And so to fully embody the divine feminine or the sacred feminine, you must journey with the dark goddess within you. And it's the deeper that you go into that journey, well, that enables you to more deeply embody the light aspect. And when you get to that place, when you've fully integrated your feminine, well, then that's when within you, you magnetize in your sacred masculine. And that's when you're in your power. That's what I call the New Earth Triple Goddess. And that's what we're going to be exploring, both in the Pyrenees Odyssey and also in my Glastonbury retreat, is becoming the divine feminine rather than the divided feminine. I was pretty impressed when I read that. I was like, wow, that's good. I was giving my 40-year-old self a pat on the back for that one. So, if this is something you feel in you, if you feel that maybe you are still holding the energy of the divided feminine, then you might like to consider joining me in Glastonbury. There are still a couple of places left for that retreat. I'll put the link below for that if you want to explore more. It's going to be so powerful. It's being held in Chalicewell Gardens, right at the Red Spring. And so we have full access to the gardens the whole 3 days because we're using the meeting room there. It's going to be amazing. And this is very much what our focus is going to be, this full embodied goddess, and then how we move into the rose goddess, how we bring in our own sacred masculine so that we can really show up fully as ourselves in the world. Because it's when you can show up fully as yourself in the world and you're on your path and you're clear in who you are and you're in your power, well, that's when the winds of change blow in, that's when you can surrender to them. That's when you can let go and not get attached to how you thought your path was going to look or what you thought your business was going to be or your job was going to be or whatever it is. That's when you can go, okay, I surrender. I surrender to the waters. I will flow, knowing that this is a part of your soul journey. This is a part of your rose line. This is a part of your expansion. But you must be in that alignment first. And that alignment comes from the full integration of the feminine. Because until she is fully integrated, you cannot fully integrate your masculine. And that's required. And so regardless of what your body form is, whether you've come in the masculine or in the feminine, whatever it is, this is required. The full integration of the feminine to magnetize in the sacred masculine. And from that place, that is the new human. That is the true human. This is our true nature. And from that place, we don't get set on our path. We don't get set on the way our life should look. We don't get attached to it. We don't have expectations around it. From that place, we remain powerful and we follow the flow. We surrender to the waters. We let the mother take us, for that's who she is. This is the Mary frequency. This is the Merline. This holds the sacred codes for how we as humans flow on earth in the arms of the mother. So, there you go. Considering I didn't know what I was going to talk about, I always find something. But the Glastonbury retreat will be the last one that I hold in Europe for I don't know how long. I'm going to stay in Australia and hold my retreats in Australia next year, following the waters. And so if you are wanting to connect with me in Europe, then perhaps you will join me in Glastonbury for the Magdalene Feast Day. Always a powerful time in Glastonbury, a fun time in Glastonbury. And so that you are fully embodying your divine feminine and moving beyond the divided feminine within you. Anyway, just take a last look at that beautiful waterfall, at the source of the dragon, How amazing, huh? Thank you for joining me on my journey. I hope to create a video while I'm on my Pyrenean Odyssey, but it's actually a very full time, so perhaps not. We will see what happens. If not, then probably my next place where I'm having my next little R&R is in Lourdes, another place of the waters. So if I don't see you beforehand, I'll see you from Lourdes and the Mary frequency there. Rose blessings to you.